I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:27. Item 2, roll call, Tom Barney.
Here.
And Eric Brown.
Here.
And Michael Loth, I am here. Item 3, agenda revisions and approval.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Item 4, approve minutes, approval of the November 6th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Motion to approve November 6, 2023 minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion by Eric Brown and second by Tom Barney. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Item 6, consent, review and discuss November vouchers. I know there were a few questions on that, and Brittany Altendorf, please.
I received 5 questions regarding the vouchers that were in the committee packet. The first question was regarding James Imaging Systems. This is our company that we use for our printers and our copy machines. The question was regarding why we purchase printer heads and maintenance cartridges, and why it's not part of our contract. The answer to that is that this printer was an addition to our contract, so after our contract was signed, since we did make this purchase, we have added it to the contract, so it will be part of the maintenance agreement that we currently have, but it was added and missed in the original contract. So moving forward, any maintenance that is needed to that machine, print cartridges, those type of things will be free of charge or in our contract.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next question I received was regarding a subscription to a program called Starfall. This is a program that is used, and I have Jake Miziak here to answer any additional questions regarding the instruction of it. But this is a program that MacArthur uses. It is a subscription for math and reading. It is used from what we understand from kindergarten, first grade, second grade, ELL, and special ed students. Currently, it is only used at MacArthur. So if there's other additional questions regarding it.
Their website says campuses. One subscription covers all the campuses. Could we not see if all of our elementary schools can benefit from that?
From what I understand, we've purchased it for individuals, so we must have there must be 2 types of
I believe the cost on this
subscriptions?
one was $355,
Okay.
and at the $355 level, it says campuses. That's what I thought I saw.
Okay, and we
So
can,
maybe
I
just
will
a
be happy to
follow-up.
look into that. From what we understood when we contacted MacArthur, they purchase it for individual, so maybe for some reason, the individual ones added together equaled the $355.
Oh, I see.
But that could be, I
Okay.
can continue to look into it to see if that can go across to other sites or not.
Is that $355?
$355.
Okay. Just checking.
The next question that I received was regarding True Ray construction paper. The question was, because it is showing up on the voucher report, it is 7 pages long. It needs to show, there is a way that people can put in purchases through something called e-commerce into Skyward. So the teacher goes into e-commerce, they click on a button, it then goes to the website of the company that they want to purchase from. They put their order in there, but then it goes to the principal so they can create a bulk order, but you're seeing like all the individual requests, even though they actually purchase in bulk for each site. And then we have to code it because we have to do school level reporting to the state. We have to code it by grade or subject. So that's why you'll see all the different details, but we do order by bulk, not district-wide, but the sites order in a bulk.
The cost per page didn't seem to indicate that.
That may, the cost per page is based on the color
I was gonna
or the
say, is that
size of the
color?
paper.
Okay.
And that's construction paper, not
Right, not standard.
regular printing paper. So those were for our elementary schools, the ones that you saw on the voucher. The next question I received was regarding an expense for University of Oregon. That is for a program called SWIS, School-Wide Information Systems. It is a behavioral software, and again, Mr. Miziak might have some more information regarding this. It is a way that our elementaries evaluate behavior.
It's a way for them to track behavior, so it's a major minor type situation where they can code actions that students have so that they can track that longitudinally, so that they can develop plans for students who might be exhibiting behaviors that they would like to correct.
We are currently, if you remember back to June or July of this past year, I did a behavior report with data, and I talked about utilizing Skyward as our management system. Jake's office is currently working with our elementary principals to see what functions that are used in SWIS that has been used in the district outside of Skyward can also be, what's the word I'm looking for, manipulated in Skyward in order to customize it to replicate those pieces. So his office is working with Skyward as well as the elementary principals on behavior codes and how to merge the two so that this is a program may or may not exist in the future. It has other school districts use it as an easier, more efficient way to track behavior data at the elementary level, where you don't have those major violations that you might see at a middle or high school. But at the same time, we want everything in one database system so that if a student starts here in 4K and graduates throughout, we can see behavioral data related to that student, and we're working on aligning behavior codes so that the same interpretation of each code is consistent from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. So this is a kind of in-between year with that.
Great, thank you.
And then the final question that I received was regarding payment of $950.32 to it's a marketing firm, which I believe you've looked up, but it is the newspaper that we post our annual meeting notices in, and we have to post two Class 2 notices. One for the budget hearing and one for the annual meeting. We just put both of them in both of the posts. So this was budgeted for, and it might look like a marketing firm, but it is a newspaper.
Okay.
Or it is the firm that owns the
Did
newspaper.
we have to do that again for the special meeting?
Correct.
So it was an extra $950.
I don't believe it's that extensive, because what we have to do for the budget hearing and the annual meeting, you have to put the budget in
Okay.
there. So there's a lot more than
Okay.
just, the second one that we had to put in was just the notice.
Okay,
So I believe the expense would be,
not as bad.
right, it should be coming up in the next, maybe the next voucher report.
Okay. Very good. Any questions, or I'll take a motion?
Motion to approve the consent to payment vouchers as presented and reviewed.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any further discussion? Yes, Russ?
Just a clarification, where would I see our legal expenses?
It was in there.
It was in there,
Yeah.
I might have missed it. Is it a line item in there, or can you direct me to a page? that-
Yeah, it's a line, I didn't make a note of it. It seems, I don't know if I'll take a guess at the dollar amount, but I did.
I
yeah,
can
did
find
see
it if it's in there, I might have missed it, that's all.
Yeah, you could, I believe it's searchable, and I
We can
believe.
find it.
It's
Yeah.
a searchable PDF.
Yeah, yeah, do a.
You can type in the vendor name, and it will find the expenses connected to that, or you can type in the account number, which I'm sure you don't know.
Yeah,
Perfect.
control F
Mhm.
and the last
Yeah.
name
Okay,
of the
thank you.
individual, because I think his last
Mhm,
name, the
mhm.
last name is part of the
Yep.
Vendor name.
company name. Yeah, I'll take you right to it.
Perfect, thank you.
A very quick guy is already doing it.
Look at how fast that new machine works.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Did you find it yet,
Not
or?
yet.
No, I missed it, so,
Yeah, it's in
thank
there.
you. I'll find it myself.
So it was a little more than I expected, but I wasn't gonna ask any questions about it, you know, cause I understood why. All right, any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Okay, and then, we have item 6, reports and updates. We have the November variance report. Brittany,
In front of you today, is the November variance report. Normally, in the past, I have not brought the first variance report to committee until January. The reason for that is because we are still receiving grant numbers that are not built into the budget. So we do have carryover from the previous year, or grants that were not fully spent out from all districts across the state. They then take those funds and they redistribute them. So we could be receiving more funds. So I usually don't give the committee first report until I know all the information. One of the areas in there is our library aid. We did receive additional library funds, which is not built into the budget. Other areas is the reading bill is not built into the budget. The nurse grant that we've applied for and received is not built into the budget. Some of these are not built in the budget because I don't know the number, and I don't want to just plug in numbers that are not factual. So the revenue and the expense side are not built in, so both of them will go up equally. One of the other things that is not built into the budget are the current ESSER dollars. They're the remaining ESSER dollars. I will be giving an update on ESSER in January, so where we are at, because the money that we have in our projected budget, we have an Excel spreadsheet that has been presented to the committee in the past. Those are budgeted numbers, and actually the actual numbers are different. So as we are spending, we are updating that spreadsheet. That will come to January. Once that is finalized, those numbers will then be added to the budget in revenue and expenditures. So right now you are seeing the budget that was approved by the board. It will change in January when the board approves any of the changes that are brought forward. So with that said, you might see some items in the variance report that might look odd. Currently, we are spending at a consistent rate as we were in Fund 10 in previous years, about 29%. One of the areas that I did want to talk about was the capital purchases. You can see that we are overspent by $436,000. That's one of the areas that doesn't have a budget in there. The board did approve using ESSER dollars for Kennedy Middle School air conditioning. To be able to move forward with that vendor, we had to create a PO, which is encumbered right now. So you have $375,000 encumbered, not spent, also not budgeted for. Another area that we have corrected since this report was printed is that there is about $60,000 encumbered that should not be encumbered. For some reason, the $29,400 that the board approved for iPads has been entered 3 times. So 2 of those will be removed or have been removed since this report. So you'll see that area go down. Those 2 things together should be your deficit that you see there. Any questions on that? Otherwise, I'll keep going.
You said 60,000?
Well, it's 29,400 times 2.
Okay, I thought I heard 16 as-
60,000-ish. Special education fund, we are spending slightly less in the 23% range to the 26% range last year. You can see that in the area of salaries are higher. Oh, but the budget is higher than last year. That's why the percentage is. So the budget, we're spending at a consistent rate as last year, about the $2.2 million, but because the budget is higher than last year, the percentages look lower. If that makes sense. So we're spending at an equal rate of dollars, but the budget is increased this year than it was compared to last year. Revenue on the bottom of the sheet. Revenue compared to last year in the general fund, we've received about $500,000 left, $530,000, I believe is the number. That is due to two items that we received last year. One of them is the federal funding, the Back to School Supplement Grant. It was $351,000. That is allocated in fund balance. We have not spent those funds. For curriculum and capital projects, one of the reading curriculums we're going through, those funds will be put towards that. And then the other one was $55,000. We claimed in ESSER funds, but it was for previous year expenditures. So you can see that's why the difference of revenue is compared to the previous year at this time. And then finally, the special education revenue. We receive special education fund on certain payments. Our payments come throughout the year on certain times, so you should see most of the time that the payments or the revenue is consistent with special ed as the year goes on. If for some reason we claim at a different time, which we normally claim around the same quarter, we claim in quarters, so you should not see a big variance in special ed revenue throughout the year. That's all I have.
Okay, very good. Any questions? Okay, we can move on then. Item 7, unfinished business, there's none. Item 8, new business, there's none. Item 9, I'll take a motion.
Move adjourn.
I'll second.
Adjourned by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This motion is adjourned, or this meeting is adjourned at 6:43 PM.